This video is sponsored by Fanttik. Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Miles Memories Weekly, episode 245. Miles Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where we're talking about painting, modeling, and wargaming experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week. Oh, could I possibly have more to say? What? I do, and here goes. This week, or actually rather last week, Games Workshop showed off some really cool Necromunda stuff, and I got an absolutely wild amount of painting and modeling done, using every tool under the sun. And speaking of power tools, today's sponsor is Fanttik. I have their F2 cordless rotary tool. It's the compact and lightweight solution for all your hobbying needs. The tool is more than a hand drill. With specific attachments, it's the perfect solution for grinding, carving, polishing, drilling, and more. The cordless feature means it's easy to work on any miniature with no fuss. No tangles, no wires, just seamless hobbying. There are even 5 different adjustable speed settings. Get that perfect finish on any of your hobby projects with the variable speed you want. This is the perfect little tool for hobbying. It's light, so I don't get tired holding it after hours. It's small, so it can fit in all the nooks and crannies on my miniatures that need a little touch up, and it's both water and dust proof. After a little carving, I can just wipe it down and it's ready to go again. It's also nice and quiet, so there's no loud noises, which means that I won't miss any of the Warhammer audiobook I'm listening to while I'm grinding away on my minis. If you're interested in getting this for yourself, you can click the link in the description. If you apply the existing coupon plus the discount for clicking from the video today, you can get it for the best possible deal. Don't miss out. Necromunda is a game that I have been window shopping. Actually, I haven't been window shopping. I've been buying kind of a lot of it. For a long time now, I have everything you can get for a House Escher gang. Necromunda looks so cool. I've played it a couple of times, but I haven't quite gone over the edge and delved into the game, but every new release is so interesting. It's that weird subset of Warhammer 40,000 of just the losers, just like the things that you're not really meant to see. When you see a hive city, you know that it produces infinite las guns and shells and cannons and things for the different war efforts in 40k, but inside of that facility is all of the random losers who make everything keep working, and Necromunda is some of those less productive losers. Necromunda is so interesting, and we got a new mini, and this guy is a plastic miniature. I was wondering that looking at the article because he's got the daintiest little fingers, and little fingers are a scary thing to see in resin because if they formed at all or a bubble stopped them from forming, they're gonna be really, really fragile. But no, this guy is plastic, and so I would expect that those fingers are gonna come out real nice. This guy is a gold opulent, wizard looking character. Apparently the king of Necromunda, which I thought that there was different hierarchy for Necromunda because, was it Lady Hellebore? Is the murderous stepchild or something of the leaders, and so she just wanders the halls of Necromunda murdering people. But this guy is apparently the ruler and a secret psyker, which is very interesting. He comes with a very nice metal face mask that shows presumably the best he ever looked in life, or I guess he's alive now sorta, because there's an alt head without that mask on, and he's got a spoopy zombie face, which seems much more appropriate. Oh, you can also remove his ab armor to reveal that he does not have abs. He has a hideous assortment of tubes and pipes, which seems about right. This guy is a lot of fun. There's also the Palanite Judiciars, if I'm assuming that the Judiciar from 40k's name pronunciation is the same as these guys. But you got some fun-looking, important noblemen. I guess somewhat noblemen. They're still walking around with guns. No las guns for these guys. It looks like it's all stubbers and maybe a bolt rifle. And a man catcher, an electro man catcher, which seems extra mean. These guys are really interesting. I like the way that they've done the judge's hood. His hair, instead of it actually being hair like we've seen on some other Necromunda characters, he's got armor that represents the hair. It's got a similar texture. It's a really, really fun looking character. And then of course, the executioner He's just an executioner, but a very 40k executioner, with his little tassels hanging down and his little robo arm. These guys are a lot of fun. The Palanites, the regular Palanites, are the military or the police in Necromunda, and I feel like they don't quite look as good as the 40k police, the Arbides. The Arbides are really, really cool miniatures. They are very much Judge Dredd in 40k, where the Palanite guys, they feel a little different, and they probably should. Like, they're a local police department, a police force, and so they should have a little bit of a different aesthetic, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the Arbides from 40k. Also, the Arbites from 40k are actually kinda good if you take 6 squads of them. Like, if you absolutely flood the board with them, they can definitely be kind of interesting. I think they can get slightly better saves, they can get slightly better shooting and punching, especially if you attach Inquisitors to them. Like, it's a really weird unit that I haven't seen anybody really do much with, because you'd have to buy like 12 boxes of the things to actually make it work. They might be stuck in squads of 10, like min 10, max 10, so you might not be able to reinforce them. I don't know. Agents of the Imperium is not really a Warhammer 40,000 faction, because it's almost impossible to make an army of them. But if you did, I think it would make for something really interesting. I might have a box somewhere of some Arbides stuff. Because I have the vague idea of like, well, if this faction isn't real, then if I go hard into it, it'll be extra funny. And so I have some ideas percolating with the Agents of the Imperium. But speaking of really cool games that I haven't quite gotten into yet, my friendly local game store has Konflict 47. They have a beautiful shelf with all of the boxes and things, and every time I go, I see it in all of its glory, and I think about it. But this weekend, or last weekend, I was really, like, I was just sitting at my desk, putting together some Kroot, and I actually got another 10 Kroot Carnivores done, bringing me up to a total of 40 Kroot Carnivores. I was riding high off of getting some good Warhammer done, and so I thought, well, maybe I just drive to the store right now and get a bunch of Konflict 47. And that is exactly what I did. I got some Firefly mobile infantry. In the game, it's a weird, wacky World War II. It's Konflict 47 in the year 1947. And I am collecting the Americans. And boy, oh boy, are they ever American. They have these wonderful little shoulder pads that are like a version of the American flag. These are the Firefly infantry, and so they have like rift-powered jetpacks in this universe. Rifts to other dimensions opened up, or rifts to arcane technology opened up. And so all of the different factions have access to this super technology. And of course, Americans have the DoD, which is also helped out by Nikola Tesla, of course. And so these little guys, what's the name? These are Thompson submachine guns, but they're Thompson submachine guns that shoot Tesla energy. And so you can see they have a little glowing plasma coil inside of them that matches the energy of their jetpacks. These guys, they painted up pretty easily, but one thing that I'm struggling with is I don't paint a lot of green. And I have like one army green color, and I have a speed paint. I think, what is the name of the speed paint? It's got a really nice, rich, warm green that I cannot figure out how to replicate properly out of any paint in my collection. So I've got the speed paint down on there, and then I have like 10 layers of glazing of different greens from my collection trying to make something that matches the speed paint. It's really tricky to do. If anybody has any really good scale modeling for like real world things that they know about, please let me know, because I would like to get into, I would like to see what actual scale modelers do to replicate real life. I'm just doing my best, taking like my 40k knowledge and shoving it onto these minis. And for the most part, it's working out. The box of Fireflies comes with 18. I've got nearly 6 of them done. I'm just learning. I'm learning on these little suckers, and then it's gonna carry me forth in my Konflict 47. But these are not the really exciting thing that I got. I was just trying out. I was having a tasting of Konflict 47. I got this pond skater. This is a little 2-legged walker vehicle with pintle-mounted machine gun, this is the pintle-mounted heavy machine gun, and then this is like a hardpoint machine gun, but then this is a 96 point unit that I have upgraded with, I think, a 20 point upgrade to give it the double heavy machine gun. Obviously the 50 cal up there, but this was really, really fun to paint. It is one of the older kits for Konflict 47, and so it is resin and metal, and that led to a little bit of fussing when I was putting it together. But the newer Konflict kits are all made of really nice plastic, and it comes with decal sheets. Oh, I love decals so much. It adds so much to a miniature. It's so much fun to do. All of the little stars on all of these guys' shoulders are a tiny little decal, and thank goodness, because the star is there on the box art and it looks really, really good. But I'm not gonna paint so many tiny little stars. But being able to throw the decal on there is a really nice touch. And it's kind of like if you ever had G.I. Joes growing up, you got the G.I. Joe sticker sheet so that you could put all of the things onto your vehicles. That's a little bit what this felt like, because after I got the camouflage on there, and like once I got it painted up nicely, then I was able to just slap down all sorts of decals. The only thing that's not a decal is the American flag on the bullet shield of the 50 cal. It felt right. In Konflict 47, like America, it's a sillier version of our world. And so I just wanted to throw that up there for style points, because what's more important in a war setting than your style? It's one of his pieces of flair. This guy was really, really fun to paint up. I actually painted on the camouflage. I went back and forth on if I was gonna airbrush it or not, because I've had some success airbrushing camouflage, but eventually this guy is so small and I was having such a hard time getting the silly putty on him that I just decided to freehand the camo pattern, and it turned out fine. I don't know if this is an official camouflage that existed. I did Google some camouflages from that year, but I couldn't find anything that really called to me as a pond skater. So I just made something up, but I think it was pretty effective. And it was really, really nice to have the Firefly kit, because I was able to use these heads and some of these shoulder pads on the pond skater model. I think it adds a ton. Don't know what I'm gonna do for the bases yet. The Konflict uses those really, really thin bases, like the 0.3 millimeter bases, which I don't prefer to use. It actually is really nice to have a little bit of space underneath the base, so that if I'm like pinning this thing to it, which is really wobbly on a pinning handle right now, it's really nice to actually have something to drill into and then to be able to properly anchor, where if I pin this into, 0.3 millimeters of plastic, it might as well not be pinned. Konflict 47 is a really interesting looking game. I know I like bolt action because I've demoed some bolt action. The activation mechanic is really, really interesting. It's a little bit like Star Wars Legion, but it's even more random, but you still have a little something that you can do during your activation to like kind of ensure that certain things happen. But I'm digging these miniatures. I mean, in one weekend, I was able to get 6 Fireflies and 1 Pond Skater mostly done. And I don't know how much else I need, probably more for an army, but I got some pretty good stuff done. And speaking of getting some pretty good stuff done, I have been on a Death Guard kick. On Wednesday, you guys saw the antithesis of my Death Guard, 410 points of madness in a Knight Tyrant, which is going to do a really good job of getting my army tabletop legal. But I also got this little sucker painted up, the Tallyman. This guy's job is to sit on the backfield and count all of the things on his little abacus. And he's got a little Nurgling that carries around his homework for him. I really, really dig this miniature. This has been sitting in my pile of shame for a very long time in blister, which is even more shameful. But now I've got him painted up and put together, and he is going to be the anchor that hopefully gives me some command points over the course of the game, some extra command points. And I see like 45 or 50 points. He's really cheap for what he is. He can join Death Guard squads, but there's not really a point. I think I'm just gonna leave him naked in my home field or in my deployment zone and just let him try to do a little bit of his business. Now that I've got so much more added to my Death Guard, the only thing really holding me back is I would love some rhinos, and that means I'm gonna have to heavily kit bash and convert some rhinos, but also I just need to paint Death Guard. I need to paint some Plague Marines. Like, the army is Plague Marines, the army, and I have 10. Yeah, I have 10 done right now, and I would really like to get 20. That would be one big, massive melee squad with fights first of 10 to just sit on probably the mid-board objective and just hold the line and dare anything to come attack it. And then 2 little 5-mans off to the side just doing some fun stuff. I think that is my goal. And once I have that done, I should have my perfect army. I have some other weird things floating around. Like, I have a Demon Prince of Nurgle that is like 200 points. Demon Princes must be really good because they cost as much as Land Raiders. So I'm kind of excited to try some of those guys out on the tabletop. But for right now, I want just slow, ponderous Death Guard. I don't think we have any access to Advance and Charge, so it's gonna be slow going because I'm pretty sure most of my guys move 4 and 5 inches, but the Knight moves a little bit quicker, and he's got big stompy feet. Very big stompy feet. My Death Guard is an army that I've kind of collected by accident, just buying a couple of Space Marine Heroes Series 3 blind bags, and then over the course of years and years, bought a couple of Death Guard things a year, and then all of a sudden, I've kind of got like a really nice 2,000 point army painted up. The only thing that I don't have it in my list right now, but it's something that I really want is Death Shroud Terminators. I love Terminators, and Loyalist Terminators aren't good. Caveat, like vanilla Loyalist Terminators they're just kind of fine. They're particularly bad in Black Templars because we don't have good Oath of Moment, or actually we don't get any kind of Oath of Moment right now. And so it's really hard to get buffs on Terminators. Other things can do it, like Deathwing Knights and Death Shroud Terminators. Like, Terminators plus a little more becomes really, really good. Every faction's different Terminators are so much better than vanilla Terminators. But Games Workshop, there's a detachment for the Space Marines called First Company Task Force. It is by far probably the worst detachment in 40k. It's really bad. The actual detachment ability is you get better Oath of Moment for 1 turn, but better Oath of Moment is just normal Oath of Moment these days. So you actually don't get a detachment ability. And all of the benefits are for things like Vanguard Vets, Terminators, Stern Guard Veterans, and like characters. And so it doesn't, the same sort of things that are already buffed by all the other detachments. Well, in this detachment, you can specifically only buff those things with your stratagems and enhancements. It's remarkably bad. It also like keys off of Oath of Moment, and so Black Templar players were specifically not allowed to take this detachment because we don't get Oath of Moment. And so it's kind of a dead detachment, but just rewrite it. Rewrite it tomorrow. It's just words. Games Workshop, fix First Company Task Force to make Terminators. This isn't a Terminator, but I'm holding it up to emphasize my point. Make Terminators better because I really, really want to play with them. I want those new Assault Terminators, but they're not good. Like, they will kill things if they actually catch them in close combat, but there's so many better, easier ways to kill things in close combat than to get a squad of Hammernators and then buy them a Land Raider or rapid ingress them in, and then really hope that your opponent sticks within like 10 inches of them so that you can maybe scoot yourself 5 inches and then get a charge off. They're fine. They're fine, but they could be better. And Death Shroud Terminators is a much better version. But speaking of something that has me even more excited than Death Shroud Terminators, that would be all of the amazing hobby products available from EonsOfBattle.com. On our website, we have all kinds of hobby goodies: army painter paints, brushes, texture pastes, wet palettes, basing cork, decals, toppers and bits, and we have terrain. It's the best way to support us doing what we do by getting a membership. Each month, members get a credit good for any one terrain pack we have ever made or the brand new one. Our new terrain for November, the Crashed Landers. These spaceships have all the trappings of grimdark futuristic flyers who have met their untimely end, dropping out of the sky to live out their days as dramatic terrain. With weapons, engines, armor, and rivets, these corpses were carrying some precious cargo that never quite made it to its destination. These ill-fated vehicles were designed by us and are available at EonsOfBattle.com. I feel like I have been crushing it lately with the painting and modeling. I have been getting some stuff done. Earlier when I mentioned that I finished 20 crew carnivores, I finished building 20 crew carnivores. So there's still painting, but that's not bad. Another 10-man squad, and that'll give me all of the regular crewts that I want, because I want 5 squads of 10 vanilla crewt, and then I want a squad of 20 vanilla crewts for the blue man group. And then after that, I think I just need 1 squad of Farstalker Kinband, putting me at 80 crewts. But eventually I will get to it. I have a lot to work on, but I've been doing a good job. And I might just take a little break to paint some more fireflies. Thanks for watching.